the world-famous Swamp Buggy races in Naples, Florida. The winner of the big feature taking a dip with the Swamp Buggy. This is Trucks and Tractor Power, featuring the all-stars of the four-wheel and off-road Jamboree Series. Today, from Florida Sports Park in Naples, it's the four-wheel and off-road Jamboree Suncoast Nationals. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Lee, and welcome to Trucks and Tractor Power on the Nashville Network. And as always, I'm joined by my sidekick, Army Armstrong. Army, we're right along Alligator Alley, just off the Everglades, and there's always that concern for what might crawl out of the swamp. But today, the monster truck veterans are more concerned with the newcomers. There have been some surprises in round one.
Yeah, some of these new kids on the block, if you will, the new litter of dogs coming into this thing, have found out when they come down to sea level, horsepower doesn't mean a whole lot. They can make just as much horsepower as the guys have been beating them up all year long. So what I'm seeing is some of these new pups of this new litter I was talking about, they could be pit bulls before this day's over.
Let's take a look at some highlights now from round one competition.
When round one came about, Andy Brass was a quick qualifier, but he rolled in against one of the new pups we were talking about, a kid named Brian Welch, driving a Chevrolet in a far lane. And before the afternoon was over, Brian Welch would have something to brag about, as he will go into the next round. Andy Brass was disqualified.
Andy was disqualified for going out of bounds. The fast qualifier's a spectator, and he talked to Army.
Well, Andy, rules is rules. You got to live and die by them.
Yeah, that's right. You know, we was looking at the track when we first went out there today because we had a controversy over the first car. The one in the left lane seemed a lot shorter, you know, and we was really concerned about, you know, if a guy's 3 feet off on a car, you know, it can make a big difference. So we went out there early, we measured the track off, and we got everything equal on it, you know, and I guess we just missed her by an inch, and that's all it takes.
Well, that would not be the only upset for the Bob Chandler Racing Team. Gene Patterson in the far lane. He's in Bigfoot. He's taking on the newcomer Pam Botters.
She's driving a new truck called the Boogie Van, and believe me, she's got a future in this sport.
Oh, ever so close. There's the time of the run, but ever so close on the margin of victory. But hey, it doesn't matter if it's an inch or a mile. Pam takes the victory.
You think the crowd doesn't love that?
An ecstatic Pam Botters talked to Army.
Pam, congratulations.
Thank you.
This is a dream come true right here.
It sure is. I'm running out here with the toughest boys in the world, and to beat Bigfoot, that's a big thing.
Your crew and you have worked hard. You came out with this. A lot of people said that they didn't think you could drive the vehicle. You've proven them wrong. You have put the truck out. You are the person to beat. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, Army. If it wouldn't have been for my husband, all the friends, our crew chief Bob, if it wouldn't have been for all them back home, I wouldn't have been able to do it. Thank you, guys.
Right. Yeah.
Fans love Pam Botters. But the best time from round one would be turned in by Fred Schaefer in the Barefoot Dodge, taking on Kirk Dabney, USA 1. And watch Kirk Dabney hand grenade the engine.
Yeah, he kicked a rod right out the side of the engine when he settled down after the final jump. About an $18,000 tag right there. But Schaefer, he laid the law down with a 556, Gary.
Now watch this expensive smoke screen, the right side of your screen, there it is.
A lot of RPM when he got it up in the air. See, that's what caused that.
Well, just barely outshone by Schaefer's time was that of his teammate Ken Deppy in the Dodge Express. He took on Wayne Smozanik in Tropical Thunder. There's Ken Deppy's time of 5:58.
You better believe these Dodge trucks are here to play hardball.
Here's Mark Hall, the executioner, in the far lane. John Moore, the no-problem Ford, in the near lane.
That's a great view from our crush cam, Gary.
Yeah, time to duck and cover when Mark goes over, and there's his good time of 6:13. So, a great crowd on hand in the sunshine in Naples, Florida. We're coming back with round two action. Stay with us. Back to Florida Sports Park here in Naples, where four trucks present the PENDA four-wheel and off-road Jamboree Suncoast Nationals, a part of the BF Goodrich Performance Series. Round two matchups now. Moving Violation will take on the Dodge Express. The Boogie Van against the Executioner. Snakebite had a bye in round one. He'll take on Barefoot in round two.
One of the big stories in Naples is the fact that the Dodge, the Mopar boys, are starting to flex their muscles. Now, earlier in the day, I had a chance to talk to Ken Deppy about the lane situation.
Yesterday, qualifying, it seemed like the left lane was just a little bit slicker on the starting line than the right lane was, so that you didn't get quite as good a bite. Today, I think they're pretty even. At least that's what it seems right now.
So Deppy in his Dodge will pull alongside the Chevy moving violation. And that is a look in the cockpit. Brian Welsh, he is here by virtue of the disqualification in round 1. You saw the fast qualifier Andy Brass and Wildfoot get DQ'd for going out of bounds. So now action begins in round 2. Chevrolet versus Dodge. A look from the crush cam as the Dodge Express takes the victory. Ken Deppy.
Yeah, with the moving violation, Welsh goes to 6:06, and remember in this sport, the quick loser of the previous round is eligible to come back. He may not be over by the end of the day. Meanwhile, Deppy drills it with a 5.56.
So Deppy advances. Brian will have to wait and see if indeed he is the fast loser. We take one more look at the big Dodge Express and the victory in the near lane. And Army, I think you're down there with Ken.
Ken Deppy, looking good out there today, looking real smooth.
Thank you, Army. Yeah, the truck seems like it's running real good. Thanks to Dodge for the strong motor in here. Even if I make a little mistake, the motor seems to make up for it.
The crowd darling here in Naples. Pam Vaughters in the Boogie van with that surprise victory in round 1. She comes out of Hagerstown, Maryland, a fairly famous racing town for sprint cars. And there's a look at Mark Hall. He's out of Champaign, Illinois, and he drives the Executioner. This should be a good shootout.
It definitely, not only girls against the guys, you got the old classic Chevrolet against Ford.
And two disciplines, the van style and the pickup style.
Exactly, but the bottom line here is the first one that goes the other end is going to be in style, because they'll come back. Who's it going to be? It looks like Pam. Yeah,
Pam has him. Pam has him. Oh, this crowd is going wild here in Naples. 6 seconds flat for Pam Vaughters in the Boogie van. Oh, you know she's happy. The crowd is happy.
Well, Hall goes to 6:26, and believe me, this young lady has hit on the right combination. She gives a lot of credit to her crew, but I tell you what, she can drive that monster truck.
Take one more look now at the victory. Pam Vaughters in the Boogie van. You know she's happy, and right now she's down trackside with Army.
Gary, there's no other way to say this. When you're hot, and but you earned it. Nobody's giving you a thing. You're just flat going head to head with these guys and hammering them.
I am. I'm just giving it everything the truck's worth, and it's really working good for me.
What does it feel like going up there? Is there any more pressure on you because you are a young lady and you're trying to work your way into this thing? You know, a lot of people didn't think you were real at first. Believe me, they know you're real now.
Yeah, it's really hard being a woman and trying to make your point out here and stuff. But there's a lot of women out there that have a lot of racing potential, but they're just not given the chance. And right now, I've been given the chance, and I'm just going to let them know that I'm there.
Talk about a shootout. Look what's coming up now. Fred Schaefer, the old drag racer, in the new Dodge Ram Barefoot, and he'll pull alongside the mysterious Rick Rattler in Snakebite.
It's kind of like an old-time street face-slapping competition, if you will. Neither one of these guys like each other. Schaefer out of Pontoon Beach, Illinois, runs the supercharged, awesome horsepower Dodge engine, and then Rattler comes up with the research and development situation for the Ford camp with the flashing lights going, and like I say, neither one of them like the other guy. That's putting it mildly.
Well, in round 1, the Snakebite out of Culver Creek, Colorado, Rick Rattler had a bye run. Now here's the bye run earlier today.
You know, if you'll notice, he took the bye run out of the lane that he's not running in now. So he does not have a feel for the lane we're going to be watching him race out of right now, Gary. That could cost him.
So once again, as we continue in the quarterfinals, it's the Ford Snakebite against the Dodge Barefoot. Remember, the fast loser will return for the semifinals.
We got a race. We got a race. Check it out.
Looks like Fred Schaefer by what? A couple of feet? So Fred Schaefer's Dodge takes the victory, but let's check the time now for Snakebite. Rick Rattler in losing. Well, there's Fred Schaefer's time of 5:53.
We know he's going into the next round, but there's the magic number.
Yeah, Rick Rattler right now, your fast loser. So Rick would advance to the semifinals with the Dodge Express, with the Boogie van, and with Barefoot. If we take a look again.
Both trucks roll the starting line now. No man's land. They plant the horsepower. Schaefer up on the horsepower, muscles it out of that left lane.
Oh, man, he is really finding the horsepower and is able to get that horsepower to the ground. That's the key in monster truck racing. Yeah, you have to stick it. and you have to have that suspension working as well. So Fred Schaefer takes the victory, and right now, Army, I think you're down there with Fred.
Well, right now, the crew immediately goes back to work. We're going to jump in and see if we can pick up what's going on. Fred, congratulations. The truck looks really good, but your truck is doing something that no other truck out here is doing. Why does your truck land and squat and doesn't bounce back?
Army, we're trying some new suspension here this weekend, and it's only the second or third pass for it. Truck's getting faster every run. I got a lot of confidence. The rules have changed.
Does that sound like a Dodge commercial
Yes,
on television? We're coming back with more from Naples. Stay with us. Back to Florida Sports Park. Army Armstrong and Gary Lee for the PENDA Point Series as the fans are basking in the sunshine. Warm temperatures and mild breezes as we are ready for semifinal action with the Monsters. Here are the pair-ups. The fast loser, Snakebite, going against Dodge Express, and the Boogie Van will go against Barefoot. This should be very interesting.
You've got 2 Dodges and 2 Fords. One difference is you do have 1 young lady in this thing. We're down to the final 4. When you get to this point, it's not for grins and giggles. Everybody wants to take a win. The drivers have completed what we call a dry hops, a technology they brought over from the sport of drag racing, trying to get the chassis to stick to the ground on the starting line. Ken Deppy, the hired gun, represents Dodge. Kid out of Cobra Creek, Colorado, representing the Ford camp with Snakebite. Good camera angle. Gary, this is going to be a rocket ride right here.
Well, keep in mind that Snakebite was the fast loser from the last round. So let's see what he can do now with this 12-truck format. The fast loser comes back from the quarterfinals. Good shot down the track. We are down to the final 4. Right-hand side is Snakebite. Left-hand side, Dodge Express.
Look like Snakebite moved first. Dodge trying to muscle in the middle.
Snakebite.
Whoa.
Ricky Rattler, the fast loser from the quarterfinals, comes back at 5:31. He keeps getting faster. The Dodge Express of Ken Deppy will go back to the trailer. And the win goes to Snakebite, Rick Rattler.
Boy, that truck moves quick in that far lane.
He got off to a very good start, a good hole shot, and there is the margin of victory. Oh my, a wheel at most.
Yeah, at most.
One more look coming right at you. Left-hand lane is Snakebite.
No man's land is where the Dodge lost it.
And Army is down to talk to our winner.
Ricky, tell me about that last race. It looked awfully close.
Yeah, it was awfully close, Army. You know, the Ford Snakebite's running well here today. We got took out first round there by Fred Schaefer, you know, and it's been a tough track to decide how to drive on it, and that's what's really making it tough out here. It's sand. It's just really different than what we're used to racing on.
A look now at Fred Schaefer.
There's a dry hops again, yeah. The Dodge fellas are doing the same thing. Maybe the Chrysler Corporation is bringing a lot of their technology from the drag racing sport over. Meanwhile, this young lady is making a lot of friends, developing
the
a
crowd
following.
favorite here.
And she's a privateer. She relies on the Ford to make horsepower, about a 460 cubic inch engine.
Her husband, Mike Vodders, has been involved in monster truck racing for some time. Now Pam is behind the wheel of this brand new Boogie Van. I like this view here from behind the starting line.
Yeah, it's the safest view we have doing these events, Gary.
Pam Vodders, the far side. Fred Schaefer, the near side. The veteran against the newcomer.
Schaefer moves, puts a horsepower down in no man's land.
And Schaefer takes the victory. But I tell you, Pam has to be real proud of what she's done here this afternoon as we take a look at the 540. Now, keep in mind, that is not as fast as Snakebite went in the other lane.
So the final is set with Snakebite having the time advantage as we get ready to go into that final.
That would give Snakebite lane choice.
And I'll guarantee you he'll go back to the right lane. Speaking of right lane, Pam Vodders in that previous round left out of the right lane with the Dodge, but when he got in no man's land, Gary, that big Chrysler Hemi just started to muscle it on the other end.
Well, once again, a good day for Pam Vodders. She makes it to the final 4 in only her third outing with the PENDA Series. There's a good look at a pretty truck. I like the paint job on that van.
I do too, and I guarantee you she'll sell a whole lot of t-shirts today because she's got a whole lot of fans that are going to start following her on the circuit.
Coming right at you here in no man's land with that new suspension they're working on. He settles down right here, applies the horsepower, takes the victory, and right now Army is standing by in the victory lane area with Fred Schaefer.
Fred, I think that young lady proved that she can get up here and run with you guys if everything's right.
Yeah, after watching her first round, Army, I want to do everything right up there. She's going to run really hard today.
So you weren't going to roll over. You played her hard.
Yeah, I did. I played her just like she was the best runner out there because she looked real impressive.
Well, she certainly looked impressive to all the fans here. She became the darling of this monster truck show here this afternoon in Naples, Florida. As we said earlier, only her third time out in the PENDA series. Her husband, Mike, has been around for a couple of 3 or 4 years, but an excellent debut. We go back now to round 1 against Gene Patterson and Bigfoot, and this is one win that she'll remember for a long time.
Oh, any monster truck out there wants to beat the Bigfoot team, but Fred Schaefer, when he says, look at, there's her husband right there, the one-legged guy.
Well, she stepped on his foot so he couldn't drive.
She stepped on the gas of that Ford, I'll guarantee you that.
Well, we have our final set now. It'll be Snakebite against Barefoot. We're coming back with the final shootout. Welcome back to Florida Sports Park here in Naples, where Ford Trucks present the PENDA 4-wheel and off-road Jamboree Suncoast Nationals, a part of the BF Goodrich Performance Series. These Jamborees offer a host of activities for the truck lover as well as the entire family. Come check out the manufacturer's midway and show and shine competition. There's also games for the kids and games for the big kids, like the tough truck competition.
Yeah, the big boys. Difference between men and boys and the price of their toys. Well, you know, the tough trucks have become very, very popular. What's a tough truck? Well, they lay out a course, and basically you take your street truck and you come and you compete. And a lot of these guys get real serious, Gary.
Yeah, they also do some serious damage on occasion, too.
Check it out, the short wheelbase Jeeps going there. We had some foreign models. I think there's a Toyota we looked at a moment ago. Almost high.
Hey, a little high side.
Yeah. Listen to the crowd. You think they're not into this thing? Tough trucks. It's meant to be fun, and it is.
Well, this is not fun for the drivers. This is the final shootout. Barefoot, the Dodge, Fred Schaefer, and he goes up against Rick Rattler in Snakebite earlier. Army talked to both.
Gary, we've been here before. These guys have gone tooth and nail all day long. A tough, tough day. This guy got a piece of you earlier. Can you handle him?
It's going to be tough, Army, but I think the Ford Snakebite can really do a good job. It's been working. You know, like I said earlier, it's just deciding on how to drive it. I think we figured it out that last round. I think we can push this truck as hard as it'll go.
Where will the race be won or lost? Start, middle, or end?
I think I can out horsepower him between the cars, but getting off the line with him, I think, is going to be the problem. Is trying to stay with him off the gate.
Well, now, once again, remember, these two matched up in round 2 competition in the quarterfinals, and it was Barefoot taking that victory, and Snakebite was the fast loser of the quarterfinals.
Yeah,
but he came back.
You don't race by looking behind you. You race by looking in front of you. From right now forward is what counts. What happened in the past doesn't mean a thing, but I tell you what, both of these guys are going to leave quick. Snakebite knows he's got to get him on the starting line. Fred told you that. He said he can muscle him in the middle. The kid in the far lane has got to drill the big Dodge on the starting line. He did it. He did it, Gary.
Good hole shot for Rick Rattler, and Snakebite. Look at the margin of victory for Snakebite. The Ford takes the win over the Dodge of Fred Schaefer.
And the crowd goes crazy here in Naples, Florida.
A 593, but remember, we saw earlier a 536. Rick went 531 in that lane.
He said he had it figured out. Amen to that. He definitely had it figured out.
So once again, after being beaten by Fred Schaefer in the quarterfinals as a fast loser, he comes back and he's going to take the victory. He's going to take all of it.
Exactly. But the starting line, thousandths of a second. See, he was back down on the ground in no man's land while Fred was still in the air. We're not taking anything away from Fred, but that Ford fought to the top to take the win here.
But all season long, this Dodge Barefoot will be a truck to reckon with. I mean, they have come back. They have arrived.
They're definitely serious, and they're going after these guys.
Let's go down out of Victory Lane and talk to Rick Rattler.
Gary, I tell you what, he's climbing out of the truck now. The crowd's going crazy. This has got to be a great day for you. That was a big win.
The Ford Snakebite's really running well, Army. You know, like I said, we had a hard time adjusting to this. We got the truck dialed in thanks to Kenny and Herbie and Dale. You know, the crew, they really worked with me on this to decide how we were going to drive this track, and it worked well.
I was going to buy a pickup truck tomorrow. What brand should I buy?
You better buy a Ford.
Another good truck commercial, this time for Ford.
One commercial for Dodge, one for Ford.
That's going to wrap it up for us here from Naples, Florida. We'll see you next week on Trucks and Tractor Power. Now here's word of an exciting new video offer from Diamond P Sports.
Bring the excitement of monster truck and mud racing to your living room with the addition of Diamond P's latest home video. Believe me, folks, third time's a charm. Shake, battle, and roll number 3. It's all new and all you come to expect, from the outrageous mishaps of the monster truck racing to the raucous rampage through the mud bogs. Shake, battle, and roll 3 is a must for any and every monster truck fan in the house. Over 60 minutes of jarring and pounding, mud and mayhem, and accelerated aerobatics you don't want to miss. To get your copy of Shake, Battle, and Roll 3, call 1-800-438-8585 or send $19.95 check or money order plus $4 shipping and handling to the address shown on your screen, or charge it on your MasterCard, Visa, or Discovery card. Call 1-800-438-8585 or Shake, Battle, and Roll 3.